So I personally have had a very successful journey in this organization. Someone attracted me to this organization, someone worked on building my career, worked on giving me the opportunities. And this organization has allowed me to explore new ideas, new ways of doing business, new teams every year, new different agendas to drive. So I personally have gained a lot from this organization, and I really wanted people to also go back with the same kind of experience and somewhere imbibe that into their DNA. And realize that that's really the true potent value of EY as an organization, because it attracts the best in class talent. It is supposed to build them to be the most thorough professional, most respected professional in the universe as well as in this country, for their subject knowledge, but more importantly for their personal demeanor as a business advisor.
We all have to keep an open mind to understand the perspective of people at every level. And understand from them in terms of what they think is going to work, and then ideate in terms of making it a better idea, giving them thoughts and guidance so that they themselves come to a conclusion that this is the best solution for them in terms of taking it forward. So that is my concept of ideating, involving people.
To recognize the fact that people are different, they have different motivational needs. So how do we get ourselves recognize that need and work towards that? I think that was an important takeaway.
So when you join, it's all very swanky. You go to a swanky office, wear good clothes, and the reality is still that, and it somehow meets your expectations also. But you have to realize that it boils down to how much hard work you can do and how much effort do you put in.
Because you're in EY does not mean that things fall into your lap. We're all working towards something every day, trying to create something new, going the extra mile to create those new solutions. So I did not think that it would still be that kind of that efforts would still need to be put in.
Difficult question, but I think so I should be honest in answering that. I think so my peer group.
I think there are little, small moments on a daily basis that I can consider to be a wow moment for me. So let's say doing an assignment properly and the manager saying, yeah, it was a good assignment. Or maybe, so just like coming here for the talent meet was a little wow moment for me because I was representing my entire service line. So that was a big thing.
It was 15th of September 2007. That was the wow day, I would call it, because that was the day when I received a bouquet and a letter from EY saying that you have been selected and your joining date is on 17th September 2007.
Wow moment was when my application to do an international stint, when that went through. I think that was my wow moment. When I came to EY and when I thought about EY and the reach that it had, doing an overseas stint was always on my mind. And when that finally came through, I was really very thrilled.
This whole concept where where we get food from from different vendors, like some of the best restaurants in town, that really makes me smile till I see my weight in the scale at the end of the day.
Probably at the end of the day, when I see some guy whose career I'm responsible, when I see him growing in the firm and he growing multifold, I think so that this more than smile get a satisfactory feeling.
So there are a lot of things like my boss telling me to leave at 5:30, or the guards smiling at you in the morning. So that familiarity of people, or the fact that you get to balance it at some for some days during the year, it brings a smile to my face.
When I entered,
At sessions outside outside the EY world, when there are people who are out of the CA fraternity also, and when they speak high about a place like EY.
I tell a client that I'm working for EY and they're like, wow, you work for EY. I think that's the proudest moment I could ever talk about.
I don't want to miss the offsites or the north schools that we have. No matter what, So there was a time, I think the year before last, I was like really ill with fever and I still went for the North School.
The network that you build over the years, both in a personal and a professional capacity, because you can't, I think the number one thing about EY is its people, and if you miss out on building that network and really enjoying the the communications and the and the bonding that you have every day, then you're really missing out on the best part of EY.
The parties are awesome. EY parties are awesome.
StarTax, I think that is something that is completely unforgettable. Every person who goes through StarTax comes back with such fantastic memory, because it's a bunch of people who've just joined such a large organization, their students, their interns, and them getting together, going crazy, making friendships, making those connections, and just being there with that same purpose when you're at the edge of your career. I think that is something that nobody should miss.
The manager school that we had in Amsterdam, the parts that I remember of the training were really good. It sort of makes you feel part of a very large organization. It gives you that sense of where we really are and that perspective of what is expected of us and what we've really achieved.
The NMADP program, the manager school, which we attended in Dubai, that was one hell of a program. I mean, we had absolutely loved each and every moment that we spent, to the extent that the last day we almost had tears in our eyes that why is this getting over?